So, Vivian, you have grandchildren.
I have two lovely granddaughters.
What's it like being a grandma?
It is a second chance on life because when you're raising children as a young person, you get caught up in the daily world. But with grandchildren, it's all fun. I don't have to do this or I don't have to do that. And when I get tired, I can send them home to their parents.
Ah, right. That's the best part, right? So, what else is different about being a mother versus being a grandmother?
Being a mother, you are totally responsible for your child. You are trying to raise them the best you know how to raise them, and you're young, and everything that you do, you know that will be picked up by your child. But when you have grandchildren, that duty is up to their parents, so I don't feel that I have to really teach them anything. I have to continue the teaching of their parents.
Ah, so you get to do all the fun stuff now that you're a grandma.
Yes, it really is fun. They take you by the hand and take you to the store and point out everything in the world that mom and dad will not give them. And it really costs you a lot of money sometimes unless you do put your foot down and say no.
So being a grandma is more expensive than being a parent?
Absolutely, but it's a lot more fun because at this stage of life you have a little bit more money than you had when you were raising your child.
I see. That's great. So we just had Christmas, and I see your knitting bag is out. Did you knit anything for anyone for Christmas?
I started to knit for my granddaughters, but time caught up with me, and I was making for them a poncho, which consisted of two oblong pieces, which I will put together and make a poncho.
Oh, that sounds pretty, I think. But what will it look like when it's finished? Can you describe it?
A poncho is sort of like a shawl, only it is closed. You can wear it like a sweater. You pull it over your head, but you don't have any arms. You just have the shawl effect.
Oh, I've seen those. Those are actually quite popular now. So what colors did you make?
I made a mixture of sand colors that's tan and browns and darker browns, sort of a mixture. It's a nice, pretty, soft yarn in the same colors. It just blends in.
Oh, it sounds great. I'm sure your granddaughter will love that. What else did you start to make?
Well, I wanted to make also, I bought some ponchos and I started to put an edging around them, but with crocheting, but it didn't look right.
What's crocheting?
Crocheting is another needle, single needle, that you stick into the wool and use a thread and you pull it through and you can make decoration on anything that you have knitted, only you use a different needle and a different method of decoration. But it didn't look right, so I pulled it all out, and it was fun trying out those things.
So when will you finish the all of these projects, do you think? Do you have a deadline?
Yes, I do, very shortly. I'm almost through with one for my one granddaughter, and I have the yarn for the next granddaughter, and then if I have enough time, hopefully I will have one for their mother.
I'm sure they'll love that. Thanks. I understand you recently rode a train from Milwaukee to Minneapolis. Was this the first time you ever rode a train?
No, I have been on a train many times as a young person, but recently, in the past 3 or 4 years, I have ridden a train again several times. There was a period of time in my life that I did not ride the train, and I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it.
How is it different riding the train now than it was back when you were younger?
When I was younger, they had a different set of train people. Back then, you weren't served meals at your seat. You had, if they had a dining car, you could go into the dining car and eat. But some trains, especially on short distances, like when I lived in Chaffee, Missouri, it was halfway between Memphis and St. Louis. Those were short routes, and they did not have dining cars. On this trip that we just got back from yesterday, we were in the lower car because it's a handicapped car. My sister is handicapped, and they brought us a menu, and they brought us a full dinner, including salad and dessert and coffee or tea, whatever we would like to drink.
How is the food on the train? Is it better than plain food?
Oh, much better. Much better. It was just fixed. The chefs did a fantastic job, and I understand that it is cooked on the train. It may not be all cooked on the train, but it certainly is prepared, and the salads are prepared on the train so that you don't get these packaged food tastes.
Oh, that sounds fun, though.
Oh, it was great fun. We enjoyed every minute of it.
Good.
I was browsing through a bookshop today, and I picked up a book on food, which is quite usual for me because I love food. But this book was a bit different. It tried to make the connection between the kind of food you eat and how it makes you feel. So, for example, sometimes if I'm a bit sad, we'll say, I think to myself, oh, I'd love some chocolate, and that will make me feel better. And sometimes it does, or it feels like it does. Anyway, I'm not sure if that really works, but the author of this book seemed to think that there's a definite link between what you eat and how you feel, or how it makes you feel. She talks about things like things like chocolate and other sweet things. She says that it releases endorphins, so that endorphins are chemicals. They make you feel good, I think is the idea, or they help you to deal with stress as well, she says. So yeah, that seems to work, I think. One of my friends told me recently that when she feels a bit sluggish, as if she doesn't have much energy, she'll go to a restaurant or go home and cook some meat, because she feels that gives her energy. So I was interested to read today that this author, she mentions how sometimes the body will feel a need to to be more sharp or to have energy, and that sometimes that means that you need protein, and protein obviously will come from meat. It seems to work for my friend anyway, but I haven't tried it yet myself.
Hi, I'm Mike, and this is my daily routine. I get up early every day around 6:30, and I go to the gym for a workout before I go to work. I usually do aerobic exercise for a while, and then do some weightlifting for maybe half an hour at the gym. Then I'll return home, and as I work from my home, I turn on my computer and start working on what needs to be done. I usually skip breakfast, and I'll work until about 12 o'clock. Then I'll prepare lunch and have a fairly big lunch because I don't eat breakfast. Then, after lunch, I'll go back, continue working on internet or whatever I have to do for work until about 6 o'clock, when I usually start getting phone calls from friends of mine who live abroad. And then in the evenings, if I'm not using my time doing things with the internet or surfing the web, then I'm speaking to people on the internet or on my phone. And that pretty much sums up my usual daily routine.